Good day, good afternoon, good evening, good wherever you are. Thank you for checking in on my channel and to listening to this story that I'm going to share with you. And today the story is about death and life, love, fear, and trust. And for some reason, people are not that fond of talking about death. Like it's, at least in some cultures, I don't know how it is for you, but death is like, it's the end. And they say it's the beginning. This story is about death. As I said, life, love, fear, trust, and I will also say courage. And no matter what you're doing in your life, where you are, what you're focusing on, this story is to make you enjoy your life even more. Because that's what I do. Looking at solutions on how to enjoy life even more and help people enjoy their life even more and getting more of what they want. So, what happened? Well, my boyfriend decided to get himself a motor bicycle a year ago or something like that. And I don't know about you, but I've never been into motorbikes. I've been like, oh, who are they crazy people driving on one of those? And suddenly he had a bike. And it made a lot of noise. but it's cool. I mean, it's cool with a motorbike. I think they are cool, but still scary. Yeah. So then he came home with this bike, and the question was, am I going to join him on this bike? Because we were going on a trip. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I learned soon how to sit on the bike and just, enjoy the ride in a way. I don't know if you have been sitting on the back of a bike, but basically you are just in the air. You know, there's no walls, no protection, nothing. You can basically touch the person that is sitting in a car, or if you're waiting for a red light. You can feel the wind. You can feel every bump. Yeah, and it's pretty magical. I believe that's why bikers love the bike. You know, the freedom is just you and the bike, nothing else. And then after a while, after sitting on his bike, being this biker babe, it hit me like we had just been driving home on the highway pretty fast. And I was sitting there at some point I was like, Helle, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? You're sitting here unprotected behind him. What if anything happens? Just imagine yourself sitting behind a person, a partner, a friend, your child, I don't know, anyone, adult that you trust. And they are just driving that motorbike as fast as they can in a way. Probably he could drove it faster. It wasn't that fast, but it was fast, you know. And my question for you is, would you prefer letting another person be in charge of your life? Or would you prefer that you are in charge of your life? Because that was the question that hit me. When I'm sitting here on his bike, he's in charge of my life. And I don't know why. But it makes me cry. Maybe because I've let in other people be in charge of my life earlier. Maybe. Probably. Who knows? Well, it has felt like that anyways. But if anything happened on that motorbike, would I forgive myself for being the person sitting behind, not having the hands on the steer, like just holding around him? And I realized that no, I would not forgive myself and not that person, but myself, because I choose to sit on the back of his bike. So it's my choice. And I would not forgive myself if anything happened, because I wasn't in charge of my own life. And I put it at risk. Like high risk. That was the feeling. And I guess people will say it's not that big risk if you're great at driving and all that. So what did I do? What did I do? And now I'm getting giggly and kind of just like life, life is just... Well, I decided, okay, if you're not going to sit on one, then buy your own. Get your own at least. So what I did was I signed up for this course, kind of a test course for those who might be interested in getting your motorbike license. And I was the woman. It was 80% men and 20% women there. And I was the one like, excuse me. I really love my life and I don't want to die. So I want to know, what's the risk of dying? Like, and what's the risk of hurting myself? I was this old lady sitting behind there. And what they said here in Norway, they said like it was around 100 people that died per year. And most of the men, between 20 to 30 years old and about 50. So, okay, not that many. It's relative, 100 is just a number, but still, I was that woman. I was just there trying to figure out the risks. And then I decided to, okay, let's try this, try one session. So I booked a session with for a motorbike session with a teacher. And it was a rainy day, so I had put on 2 pants actually. So I couldn't even lift my leg over this big motorbike, and he was kind of laughing of me. But anyways, I tried it. And here's the fear part again, because what I was thinking when I was sitting on that motorbike, on having the hands on the stair, it was like, this is scary. And then I told myself, I kept saying, this is scary. I was like, okay, this is a little exciting. Exciting, because I just pulled myself into the fear, and I was like, okay, so now you are going out of your comfort zone. And I don't remember last time I've been out of my comfort zone in that way. It feels like a 40 crisis when you're turning in your midlife. It's like, here I am on my motorbike, and I don't even like the motorbike. So I did have that one session, and then I was like, okay, it was pretty cool. It was interesting. Okay, maybe I should just do the theory, the theory. You need to learn how the motorbike is working by reading theoretically. So I decided to do that, and suddenly it was a Monday. It was 1 one spot available, and I drove up and I took the exam, and I suddenly had 39 out of 40 correct answers. And I was like, whee! So then I had the theory was locked in. And what I also did when I decided to not sit on this bike anymore, it was starting to talk about this motorbike, and like, yeah, I'm thinking of getting one, getting my license, kind of just feeling the vibe, saying it out loud. That's very typical me. And I also know that when I do that, it's a way of locking it in. So I started ordering cool pants, a helmet that was black with this all black helmet, and I looked at bikes and I found my black bike, and I was like, I want that one. So suddenly, from sitting on the back of his motorbike, I was on my own journey with this getting my license, figuring out how to handle this motorbike journey. And I ended up going into the store, motorbike store, with my boyfriend, and he came and he said, Helle, just so you know, they have one more of the bike you would like to have. And then I was like, okay. And then I just walked to the salesperson. I was like, excuse me, I have 2 questions. One, I would love to order that black bike, you know, that one. And is it okay if I could just sit on it, try to sit on it? You know, it's a kind of girly, naive, kind of little stupid way of stupid approach. And I'm not like stupid and like I'm stupid, no, but it's a funny way of approaching it. It's not like I know a lot of things about the bike. No, I just like it. It's black, it's sexy, it's hot, it looks fun. That's basically the reason. I still need to kind of remind myself what it's called when people are asking. It's a Honda 500 CR R, something like that. Okay, so I'm not proud of not knowing all the details. I'm going to read the main book too about the bike, so I'm soon there. Anyways, I went in, I ordered my bike. I had ordered the full equipment also online, found some cheap or some discounts. And then the bike arrived a month or later or something. I couldn't pick it up. I didn't have the license, so my boyfriend did. And yeah, that was just before summer. And since then, I have been busy. So I had this beautiful bike with insurance and everything, standing there like, look at my bike. I can't drive it, but look at it. And now I have been practicing. I did practice a little before summer, but now after the summer vacation, I have practiced my bike, driving the bike. And the question might be, am I in love with the bike now? Does it sound like I'm in love? Not yet. Not yet. I will say I have felt the freedom of just when you change from one gear to the next, I could feel like, I have also been scared. And last time I practiced, or the time before, when I was just taking the bike out of the garage, I lost balance and the bike just, and I couldn't get it up. It's super heavy. So this is kind of a story without an end, because I haven't gotten my license yet. I don't know if I will love to drive that motorbike. We have gone on a trip. We did that last weekend for the first time. Then I had this, yellow jacket on with a big L that says like a learning. But in a way, I'm glad I am having that, because then people know, like, okay, give her some space and yeah. So we went on this trip together, and in a way I already achieved my goal because I was in charge of my own life. I was on my bike, he was on his bike. We were together, but I was not passively sitting there. And as you may have understood, it's not about the bike, this story. It's about being in charge of your own life. It's about respecting your own life. Honor it by taking charge. And I mentioned trust as a key for this story, key word. And the question is, are you trusting other people the most, or are you trusting yourself the most? And I am like, if it's not me, like, who can be the best at taking care of me if not me? So I go first, and I can still sit on my boyfriend's bike. I can take that risk and trust that he is taking care of me in that situation. But I will not do that on a regular basis when there's a lot of risk, because it's my life. And if I die, when I die, you know, we were going to talk about death. 2 seconds. If I die, when I die, I'm prepared. That means, you know, we take care of our finances, we have insurances and all that when we are alive. And if I die, I'm in charge of my life, and I'm also in charge of my death. In that sense, I don't know how that will be, you know, who knows? But I have taken responsibility of the things that I can't take responsibility of. With insurance, what will happen with my home, my family, and so on. So I'm a biker girl now. Not with a license. I will let you know when that happens. When that happens, you will for sure see it. And you know, if I don't like it, if I don't love it, I can just sell it. And I'm pushing getting out of my comfort zone and daring to learn something new, to face my fears, has of course also affected my life in all other areas too. So it's not only about the bike, it's about life, it's about love, it's about trust, courage, fear, and to honor your life, respect yourself, and make your life the best it can be by taking charge and not putting your life in other people's hands on a regular basis. That's my message today. Thank you for checking in, listening, and if you have any feedback, would love to hear from you. And subscribe and share this with someone if you have someone who you think could be inspired by this story. Talk to you soon, and have a wonderful evening, day, afternoon, or morning.